Kaplan. You're so kind. Hello, everyone. My story, as you said, is bringing Christmas back on the calendar, and that was in our town. We lived in Northern California all of our life. My 5 kids were born and were raised in Northern California. We lived in a charming town called Danville. It was very quaint and very small. Everybody knew everybody. And our school district called San Ramon Valley School District. So I was a class mom for my youngest. She was in 1st grade. Her name is Naveen. And her teacher's name was Mrs. Story. Lovely, lovely teacher. And so the class mom, or the parent, for people who don't know, is kind of like the liaison between the teacher and the parents, in charge of events, holidays, end of the year party. So December came, and Mrs. Story discussed with me that I should start doing the Christmas party. So I went home. I was so excited. I went home and printed out the kind of like, you know, the flyer. So I put on it the Christmas tree, and I put on it Christmas holiday, Christmas party, 1st grade, Mrs. Stories, 11:30, and I put on it what I suggest the parents should bring and my email so they could call me and coordinate. Second morning, I went early to drop off Naveen and put these sheets of paper in the children's cubbies so they could take it to their parents that day. All right, so the second day when I went to drop off Naveen, Mrs. Story called me in and she said, Hanan, the principal wants to see you in her office. You know, I didn't think anything of it because I was very involved, you know, PTA and class mom, and you know me, I like to talk to people. So I figured the principal wants to give me more tasks for Christmas. So when I was walking from 1st grade to the principal's office, it's a long hallway in the school. I saw 2 teachers that I always say hello to, and they were looking at me, you know, waving and saying, here comes the troublemaker. I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. I kept walking, walked in and sat at the principal's desk. And she said, well, Hanan, some parents complained about your flyer. I said, oh my God, what's the matter with it? She said, well, you can't put Christmas tree on it, and you can't Christmas. I'm like, okay, now I'm totally more confused. Why can't I say Christmas? Why can't I put a Christmas tree? It's a Christmas party. She said, no, some parents complained. So we talked, her and I, for the longest time, and then she suggested that if I want to change this, I should talk to the superintendent of the San Ramon Valley District. I took his number, and I went home. I'm like, you know, it might be, maybe there's a mistake. I called him. His name was Robert Kessler. I explained, I said, hello, Mr. Kessler. My name is Hanan Rasheed. I'm a parent at Tassajara Hills for my daughter, and I understand that Christmas was removed off the school calendar. He's like, yes, that's correct. I said, why? I see around town and in the other schools, we celebrate every other culture and some other religions. Why is Christmas omitted off the calendar? And I said, you know, with all due respect, the last time I looked in America, it was predominantly Christians, and Christmas is a major holiday. He said to me, he said, you know, I got a few calls from the Jewish community that they said that their kids feel uncomfortable seeing that kind of literature and that kind of terminology. I said, okay, would you please help me do that? Because I feel either we celebrate everything or we celebrate none. Because you're telling some kids in school that they are worth more than others. And we're dividing kids. He said, okay, I'll call you once I take it up with the board. When I went home, I called my friends, and mostly my Jewish friends. And I said, you guys know what's happening in our district? They took Christmas off the map. And I said, you know, that's uncool because, come on, there's Christmas trees everywhere, and we're not going to celebrate in the school. They agreed with me. They agreed with my point of view that either we celebrate everything in Danville or we don't. So a week later, Mr. Kessler called. He said, Mrs. Rasheed, I have perfect news for you today. I said, yes. He said, the board agrees with you. We decided to put Christmas back on the map. I'm like, yay! I cannot wait to go to school tomorrow and tell my Christian friends that Christmas is back on the map. Dead silence. Dead silence. And I can just imagine, because I know him, I know how he looks like. I can just imagine him like, oh. He says, wait a minute. Wait. You mean to tell me you're not Christian? I'm like, no, actually, I'm a Muslim. And since we're talking about Muslims and religions and confidence for the students and building bridges, let's talk about putting Islam on the calendar too, because you have a lot of Muslim kids in the schools that you're telling them they're worthless because we can't celebrate their holidays. He says, okay, kind of like you're pushing it now. I said, please go back to the board and ask for me again. He said, yes. But the second morning when I went to drop off Naveen, and they had valet parking, like the teachers come in and take their students, you don't have to get out of the car. Here comes the teachers who called me troublemaker. They were hailing me as a hero, this Muslim that brought back Christmas to the Christians in their own town. And so he called me back again and he said, all your points are valid. We need to build bridges. You're right about diversity. You're right that America is a melting pot. We spend $250,000 on counseling kids in the schools to make them feel their worth. And I said, yes. And you're telling my Muslim kids and my Christian kids that they're worthless. So they agreed with everything. We put Islam back on Muslim holidays. I was in charge of doing the Muslim holidays and the cultural holidays for Palestine, taking everything and showing people. And we did build alliance because the Jewish community came in with me. Whoever complained, we didn't know who, but they came in with me. And my Christian friends were so happy that I did that. And then I had to explain to people, I'm a Palestinian Muslim. I'm from the Holy Land. I'm from where Jesus was born. And we always say, the Palestinian Muslims, we say in Arabic, نحن أولى بسيدنا عيسى عليه السلام, meaning we have more rights to Jesus عليه السلام, peace be upon him, more than anybody. We celebrated with our Christian sisters and brothers every year in Bethlehem, and it's the most beautiful celebration among all the religions. And as I don't know if anybody knows, the Holy Land, Palestine, has 3 religions that are residing side by side, which is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And I always say in my speeches, in interfaith speeches, this is a sign from God, subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we need to live next to each other, promote each other, respect each other, and call on peace. Happy holidays. I love you all.